First thing that I'll do is the easier method. Let me just grab my remote. Okay, oop, shoes off. Okay, so I've got my remote here. I can point it at the camera. I gotta keep finding the focal point. See, this is why I end up doing the 10-second dash method, because I'm so bad at finding the focal point. Oop, there it is. If it wasn't my tiptoes, I found it. I tilted it up too much, apparently, so now I know. So I can look at that picture. We can see that, yes, I had it tilted up too much because I can see that. So now I'm going to tilt it down a little bit to make sure that I can actually reach my focal point. There we go. That should be about my height, I hope. Well, that's a wonderful self-portrait, I think, to have out there in the world. Okay. Much better now. Well, probably not the face, but the focal point is much better now. So now that I know that, my inclination would actually be to flip it to manual focus. I would want to just say, okay, my mark is exactly at this line on the floor. I can go over there and lock it down, and then I don't have to worry about it searching for focus. I hate that. So I'm not one to really let it autofocus on me unless I'm doing a stagnant pose. Stoic pose, stagnant pose. Now you've got me confused, Josh. Static pose. He was saying on the break that I was using the wrong word, and I was like, oh crap. So yeah, now I'm all confused. It's your fault. Okay, so unless I'm doing a really still pose, we're just gonna say still now. Unless I'm doing that, then I wanna be moving a little bit, and that is just gonna keep searching for focus, so I don't want that. So I was just doing my S on my remote. I have it on my remote setting on my camera, pointing it at the camera. I'm doing that because all of the cameras will have this little sensor on them. So if you're like doing this and hoping it focuses, it's probably not going to focus. You actually want to aim it at the camera. So I'm going to take a self-portrait. I know where my focal point is. So I'm going to go over here. And it already focused. I didn't change the focus. So I'm just going to lock down now. Manual focus. It's locked, hopefully. So now I can pose. Okay. I need to come up with some better poses as we move along here. Okay, so we've got a pose, and the focal point is exactly the same as where it was before, I hope. I can't entirely see, but I'm in focus. It's okay. So now I can get creative because I know my mark, I have my focal point all set, I am good to go. So now I just need to think, how am I going to pose myself? What is the story here that I'm trying to create? So let's do one together. What kind of a story should we create in this self-portrait? You give me an emotion.
Glee.
Really? Okay, we're doing Glee. Oh gosh, okay, we'll do that after because I like you a lot better. Okay, good. So, oh, I put my remote down. What am I doing? Now, in this picture, I can't have the remote. Like I said, I could put it in my mouth, but I can't do that. So maybe I'll drop it down here. Maybe I'll set it down on the floor. Doesn't really matter what I do at this point. I find it sometimes difficult to set it on the floor if I'm going to be doing a lot of motion, but generally it's okay. Now, if I wasn't on this floor, I would just take it and throw it. My inclination every time when I start hearing that thing beep, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get rid of my remote, and I just throw it down on the ground, and then boom, it goes everywhere. It doesn't break, it's just that the battery pops out easily, so I'll try not to do that. So Glee. Okay, do you see me getting into character? I'm flapping my wings, we're ready to go. Okay. That was my Glee. That was silent Glee. It was very subtle Glee. Okay. Thank you. I am an actor, you know. So that's my Glee. Now, you can see what I did here when I posed myself. I made sure to pose my whole body. So I jumped a little bit because I knew that my feet would then have this nice line to them where they would be pointed naturally. My arms naturally went out to the side. I moved my dress, so in moving the dress, my arms naturally posed themselves. And then I tilted my head back. I do that almost every time, just out of instinct. My head goes back. I have an elongated neck, my shoulders are down. So this is an example of one of those poses that we did before, or rather a few combined. Pulling the shoulders down, having the arms go out. It's innocent, and that is Glee to me. That's saying this is an innocent image. It's very, very subtle, but at the same time, it looks very graceful.